Holocaust, written by Sri P. S. Chowdhury, published in the year 2017. During my Calcutta University days, learning a foreign language was quite in vogue, but it was more to impress upon the girls' folk than actual learning. So, I joined an institute which was recognized by the German consulate, and one middle aged German lady with blonde hair used to teach us the language and grammar. I still remember on the very first day she told us, "My name is Ruth and I will teach you the basics of Deutsch, that is German." I belong to a southern German city called Munich, although in Deutsch it is pronounced as München. So, boys, in the first few minutes itself, you got familiar with at least two German words. Her English was average, but in hindsight, it helped me understand Ruth better. The duration was just 1 hour per class for 3 days a week. One day, one of the boys stood up and asked her about Holocaust. Till that time, I had never come across this word, and to me, it appeared to be Africana. I noticed that Ruth remained silent for a while, possibly felt uneasy at the question, and then replied, "Okay, I will tell you what Holocaust was all about, because you all have a right to know." And then she told us about the most horrifying part of world history for an hour. Etymology, that is, origin of a word, says that the origin of Holocaust is Greek, where holos means whole and caust means being burnt. But in true sense, Holocaust defines the mass murder of Jews between 1933 to 1945 in Nazi, here again pronunciation Nazi Germany, and it is estimated that more than 6 million Jews were brutally killed in a planned and systemic manner. The victims included approximately 2 million children as well. This was the deadliest genocide in the history of the world, and also termed as purging or ethnic cleansing. But first, how did it start? The genesis. Adolf Hitler, an Austrian by birth, came to Germany in his 20s in search of a job, but finally landed up in the German army as a corporal. He was later decorated for his gallantry in World War I. After the war ended, he decided to join politics. Hitler gained popular support with his charismatic oratory by attacking the Treaty of Versailles and prompting Nazi propaganda, anti-communism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is basically hostility, prejudice, or discrimination against the Jews. Incidentally, almost entire Europe, part of Latin America, Russia, who was predominantly Christian, had also anti-Semitic feeling for the historically proven fact that it was the Jews who crucified Jesus. But today, it is a new world, and anti Semitism is considered to be a form of racism. But how did the Jews, a small community living in Palestine, gradually spread in different parts of the world? First, it was predicted in Old Testament that if the Jews did not change their lifestyle, who were then unruly and rowdy, they might have to leave their homeland one day. This is also known as dispersal or exodus as mentioned in the Bible. The second and major reason was the rise of Islam. The Jews were a business community and thrived on money lending. Remember Shylock in Merchant of Venice, and selling alcohol. And Islam does not permit any of these. Coming back to Hitler, in 1993 he became the undisputed leader of the Nazi Party and was elected as Chancellor of Germany and Führer means leader, which he continued till 1945, the year the Second World War ended. Immediately after taking over the charge, the first thing Hitler did was curbing all civil rights of the Jewish community. Then he took some extreme steps against the Jews which would raise the eyebrows of any civilized nation. For example, the new government notified that they could forcibly occupy the immovable properties of rich Jews and throw them out of their ancestral home without paying any compensation. They announced over radio to boycott Jews' shop and barred Jews' legal luminaries and doctors to practice their profession. In fact, they went a step further up, stating that medical expenses of any German national of Aryan origin would not be reimbursed in case he or she visited a Jew doctor, and so on so forth. Hitler expected that with the new laws in force, the Jews on their own would leave Germany and move to another country. And once they start leaving, Germany would become free of these vermins, a term often used by Hitler for the Jews. Thank you very much for listening. Now some of the words and their meanings. Her English was average, but in hindsight, it helped me understand Ruth better. Hindsight means the ability to understand after something has happened why or how it was done and how it might have been done better. This was the deadliest genocide in the history of the world. Genocide, Genocide. Genocide means the murder of all the people of a particular race, religion, etc. The Genesis. Genesis, Genesis. Genesis means the beginning of something. He was later decorated for his gallantry in World War I. Gallantry, Gallantry. Gallantry means courage, especially in battle. They announced over radio to boycott Jews' shop and barred Jews' legal luminaries and doctors to practice their profession. Luminary, Luminary. Luminary means a person who is famous and important in a particular area of activity. And once they start leaving, Germany would become free of these vermins. Vermin, Vermin. Vermin means flies, lice, etc. An offensive word for people who are unpleasant and harmful to society. Thank you very much.